lived in River Grove for 40 years or so, and I think if you asked me or most River Grove residents, where's Kennedy Avenue, they wouldn't know. Here we are, currently one of these storage facilities, but in my memory, in my childhood, this was something else entirely. Growing up in River Grove, I was always fascinated with this place. Fort Locke was the name, and I used to wonder, is it a fort named Locke? Or does this place actually have something to do with the mechanical security device? That might sound like a stupid question, but for a lock factory, which it was totally nondescript except for the small sign outside the front door. Fort Locke was started by Sidney Falk. It's difficult to tell exactly when. In the 1930 census, he was listed as manager for a lock manufacturing company. I would think that perhaps this meant he purchased the company he worked for, but in the 1940 and 1950 census, he is listed as a lock salesman. The first appearance of Fort Locke I can find in any periodical is 1966. A help wanted listing in the Chicago Tribune references not the River Grove location, but a different building at 6545 West Irving Park Road in Chicago. Surprisingly, the current building at that address shows it was built in 1966, but the ads for that address continue through 1971. In 1973, the first of literally hundreds of ads for the River Grove location began. In 1998, a company called Comp X acquired Fort Locke, but the Fort Locke help wanted listings continued through 2001. Comp X exists to this day and continues to use the Fort Locke, or simply Fort, branding. They operate a plant in northern Illinois currently, but it looks like operations in River Grove stopped in 2006. The building was abandoned until approximately 2013, at which point Google Maps Street View shows a new building, which became Extra Space Storage a couple of years later. Sidney Falk died in 2000 at the age of 93. His son Lloyd, who also ran the company for many years, passed away in 2020. An undated YouTube video uploaded in 2017 shows the demolition of a Fort Locke water tower. Google Maps Street View does not show this structure even as far back as 2009. I thought perhaps this may not even be the same Fort Locke location, but some of the footage is clearly at the intersection of Kennedy and Elm Streets. Yeah.
Hey, it's showtime. Grab your jacket. Parked outside.
I'll be right down.
Used to send him up to heaven when she said, "You are my sunshine."
With the building demolished and something new constructed, there's not a scintilla of evidence left for me to demonstrate the existence of Fort Locke. But one thing I can do is we could jump in the time machine right now and I can show you a place I'm very confident many Fort Locke employees sourced their midday meal for many years. Are you ready? It's a long journey. What is now an empty lot was once a home to a variety of restaurants. The most recent closed in about 2018 and was demolished finally in 2020. But when we take it way back into the 80s, this was a home to a River Grove landmark beef joint, Great Italian Beef, and other Chicago standbys, closed in 1988. And at about 300 feet away from Fort Locke, many people had to have made a beef their lunch. As we cannot get a beef here today, we'll have to get the next closest thing and head east on Grand Avenue, my current spot. Let's do this. Here we go. Time to eat an Italian beef sandwich at the site of a historic Italian beef location. Beef joint was around a long time. Time to pay tribute. I don't know that I've ever gotten a beef from Pop's place. I've been there many, many times. They used to actually sell a really good burrito, which is odd because it's obviously not a taqueria. And they pulled it off the menu like a year ago. Steaming hot. So you never really know the quality of giardiniera you might get. So you got to BYOG, bring your own giardiniera. And Marconi, I mean, this is not even up for discussion. I don't care if you live in Chicago or not. That's the only brand, as far as I'm concerned. So it is a balmy 31 degrees right now. Let's get involved in this Italian beef. That first bite was 5% bread, 1% beef. What's left? 93% giardiniera. That's really solid, really good. Not too wet. The bread is already beginning to rupture, but that's par for the course. If there's a brand of giardiniera that's not crinkle cutting the carrots, I don't want nothing to do with it. Shout out to Beef Joint. Shout out to Fort Lock. River Grove history. Respect it or check it. Catch you on the next one.